Hi students, welcome to Unit 4 of Digital Design Fundamentals. Hope you're ready for this unit and excited about your next exercise. We're going to be focused on Figureground, which is the theory of Gestalt. Some of the things we're going to learn regarding that in your textbook. First off, you're going to want to read that topic within your textbook called Figureground. And it's really about objects and how the objects are shaped by what surrounds them. So they are defined by what's around them and whether they are an object on a background or a background on an object, as you can see here sort of in the makings of these letter forms, these characters based on something over, and then the sky actually falls behind. So relationships shape visual perception. Figure or form is always seen in relationship to what surrounds it, ground or background. So that's what we're going to focus on, and understanding how that relates to design. For example, a stable figure-ground relationship. We know that a black square on a white background, that's fairly easy. You can kind of look at this and for the most part you feel like this is black over white, not white over black. And you would maybe move this to one area of your layout if you were a designer working in this fashion. That is considered stable figure ground. For the most part, we start out like that in many of our digital environments. We know that we're working on a background, whether it be a page, an artboard, or a canvas. And then what I'm trying to challenge you to do, and what the theory of the Gestalt challenges good designers to do, is to pump it up a notch and think of it as reversible figure ground. Reversible or ambiguous. You really want to strive to get to the ambiguous figure ground state within your layouts, but reversible is pretty good too, which is where you know there is a foreground and a background, but you're actively moving between the two, and you're actively doing it really well. So that's a reversible figure ground state within design or a composition. So if you move to the third part, as you're designing, one of the greatest objectives for this assignment is to reach the ambiguous figure ground stage. And what that is you know you've got black or white and you're bouncing between the two, so you know it's reversible, and that's exciting, but it's not predictable. So it also is allowing your eyes to move about the page. So these are very abstract concepts, but they also reflect well in the project that I'm about to assign. So we've got stable, reversible, and ambiguous figure ground. You will be quizzed on that later in later units. So be sure to just review some of these things online and in your textbook, and that should help. So if we go back to this unit's overview, one of the things you want to do is first read that area, figure ground section in your textbook, and then review the examples of figure ground that I mentioned. You've got stable, reversible, and ambiguous. And also complete an exercise. You're going to use your initials. You can use someone else's initials too. It's not imperative that you use your own. And you're going to use your initials to compose an example figure ground exercise, and you're going to submit that to JetNet when you're complete. What you'll do is you'll draw upon the theory of reversible and ambiguous figure ground. You want to strive to be ambiguous, but reversible is also acceptable. You really don't want stable. So you can use whatever technology of your choice, but I will scroll down here, and you will use your own initials in the power of positioning, scale, and negative positive space. You must create a composition that meets a perfect balance of that ambiguous figure ground. Of course, reversible is acceptable as well, but I'm pushing you towards that ambiguous. Here, what you see are my initials, a C, an L, and H. And what you'll see is if you look at it, that background almost blends right into the foreground, and that might mean you switch up the scale so it bleeds off the edges of your canvas or your page, whatever program you're working in. And then you also want to be able to position these elements. So we talked a little bit about scale last unit. So positioning, scale, and figure ground, negative positive space. bring that all together and to complete something that feels like a perfect balance of that ambiguous figure ground. Now I don't know which is black or white, and I'm bouncing about the page here. So I hope you can see that within this example, and I hope you enjoy bringing your own initials into the mix here for this exercise. So that would be the exercise. You'll submit that to your JetNet submission link when you're complete. And then for the forum, you're going to find 3 examples of logo identities that show a solid representation of ambiguous figure ground. One example is I think it's the World Wildlife Federation. I think I can Google that real quick and see if we can see World logo. There it is. So you can see what's interesting is sort of, you can't really see it with the checkered background. Let's see if we can, there we go, is the front of the panda actually blends into the background. So this is a nice example. I don't want you guys to use this example. I'd love it if you could find a different one. But anyway, this is definitely what I'm speaking of when I'm asking for examples of logos that use ambiguous or reversible figure ground. Okay. So you've got that. You've got the logo, the logo examples for the forum, which you work on here, and your own exercise to complete here. I have a couple different links that you might find helpful in understanding Gestalt theory and principles. And then if you have questions, please let me know. Do I have some more exercises? That's just mine. That is my example. And I think I will be excited to see what you guys have to play so I can use yours as examples. And then I will see you in the next week's unit video. Have a very productive week. And it's supposed to be nice weather, so enjoy that as well. I'll talk to you soon virtually.